Hang on, hang on, guys. Okay. What's going on, guys? Popcorn Reacts here, bringing you the second video of the day. Even though it's 10:07, but hopefully this video will be uploaded by then. So today I'm going to do top 10 Scooby-Doo monsters. Let's get right into the video.
So coming in at number 10 is the Samurai Ghost from a pup named Scooby-Doo. The Samurai Ghost was played by Mr. Dayton, the curator of the museum. Now the reason I have the Samurai Ghost at number 10 is because of the way Mr. Dayton controlled the costume. Now basically he had sticks coming from his hands and legs because he was not tall enough to fit into the entire costume. This was just completely ridiculous. It made everyone crack up, and I just thought it was the funniest ghost I'd ever seen on Scooby-Doo. It was just completely funny. And this is the reason I have it at number 10. It may not be the scariest ghost, it may not be the best ghost, but it was just one of the funniest ghosts I ever seen, and I just think that you guys should all go watch that and see the ending, because it is just hilarious.
Haldane's Ghost.
Coming in at number 9 is Haldane's Ghost, played by Morgan the Magician in Scooby and Scrappy-Doo. Now the reason I picked this for number 9 is because Haldane's Ghost is one of the more tricky villains that you'll see in any Scooby-Doo series. And basically the reason is he pulls off this elaborate trick in order to steal the pearl from the hotel. And basically he had a little vibrating type thing. I believe it was one of those little music type vibrating things where basically it makes glass shatter into millions of pieces. And he used this in order to steal the pearl, while also using lighting up in the lighting booth to pretend like there was a ghost on stage when Morgan was performing. So overall, this is definitely one of the trickier ghosts. It's more of a mind-blowing episode until later on when you find out who it is. But yeah, definitely go watch this episode of Scooby and Scrappy-Doo and tell me what you think, because he is just one of the more tricky ghosts I've ever seen, mainly because he's played by a magician.
The Gator Ghoul.
Coming in at number 8 is the Gator Ghoul from the Scooby-Doo show, played by Alice Dudley. And the reason the Gator Ghoul is number 8 is just because the Gator Ghoul is just a complete brute. It has eyes that turn into headlights pretty much, and it has just a mean roar. It's completely scary. It scares off the entire gang the entire time. So I just give this one, a spot in this list just because it's just sheerly scary. And when I was younger and I watched this, it scared the crap out of me. It was just scary for everyone who watched.
You want to hear a secret? The weirdest secret I had? So, when I was, before 10, I was fine with Scooby-Doo. And then, for some reason, I just got scared of Scooby-Doo. I don't want to watch it, it's too scary. And then they started playing it, and then I got back into Scooby-Doo. Oh no, I watched a lot of episodes, that's fine, and then one episode, before it even started, I just got scared of it. But that was a long time ago, guys. I'm 15 now, that's years ago.
So that is why I give Gator Ghoul number 8. It's also a classic Scooby-Doo villain. It was even in Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase because it was such a classic. And if you can make it into one of those later on Scooby-Doo type installments like Monsters Unleashed and Cyber Chase and all that stuff, then you know that you've accomplished something as a villain. So definitely go check out that episode of the Scooby-Doo show.
The Blues.
Who doesn't like a hero going to the dark side and becoming a villain? Now the Blue Scarab comes...
Actually, you see that boomerang sign right in that corner over there? Let me put my face cam, right underneath me, right there. Look where it's at. It's on his chest. It looks like part of his outfit, legitly. I just not noticed that.
At number 7 because mainly it's just a great story. It's one of the best storylines I've ever seen in a Scooby-Doo episode. It's just so entertaining. He bases his criminal acts on what happens in the comic book that comes out. And also I give this an edge because it is the first episode ever to feature Scrappy-Doo. And it is Scrappy-Doo's first main villain that he faces. So definitely go check out the Blue Scarab. It's an unbelievable episode. The first episode ever was Scrappy-Doo, and you'll actually get your mind blown. It's unbelievable.
It's vampire.
Now, the vampire in Season 2 Scooby-Doo show played by Uncle Leon, was probably the scariest villain of my childhood. Now, I don't know why this scared the crap out of me, but basically, it was the scariest episode I'd ever seen. It just scared me every single time I watched it. I was like 8 or 9 when I used to watch it, and this thing just scared the crap out of me. I mean, it gave me nightmares, and overall, just the vampire was just such a scary character. He just looked scary. He would sneak up behind the people, and I guess that was the scariest part about him, is he was pretty stealthy, and he would just hide in different areas and just sneak up on people. And definitely go watch this episode. And yeah, the vampire, if you're little, if you're watching this and you're like 8 or 9, it'll scare you.
That looks like that don't look like a vampire.
Now, the tar monster is just a complete...
Welcome, boys and girls!
I mean, nothing epitomizes the Scooby-Doo show more than the tar monster. The tar monster is just an unbelievable villain. I mean, it's just so scary. It's such a good costume design. It's so creative. I mean, when else have you heard of a tar monster? Who else would have come up with that idea other than Scooby-Doo? I just think it's one of the more creative monsters you'll ever see. And it's also been featured in stuff like Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Here. I'll show you a picture of it. And I don't know how to Photoshop it, so... The one with one eye, you know what I'm talking about. Their goggles. I could have that gray circle and have the eyepiece. Let me try to find one where... See, this right here. This kind of menu with the one eye. See? Look at the familiar to the goggles. I know it's hard to see, but it's there. You see it now? See, look at the goggles. Not the body, the goggles.
Because it's almost a shout out to how good that era of Scooby-Doo Monsters was. I mean, season 3 of the Scooby-Doo show had some of the best monsters you'll ever see. So definitely go watch that episode of Scooby-Doo. And yeah, check out the tar monster. It's really interesting. Now, I could go on for days about how much I love the episode of The Ghost of Bigfoot. It is just such an entertaining episode. And Laurel and Hardy make an appearance in this. Laurel and Hardy are just hilarious. I mean, their humor in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, all that stuff, their humor was just hilarious. They were some of the best comedians you'll ever see. And The Ghost of Bigfoot, he may not be like the super best villain, but that episode in general is just so great.
Okay, then.
It's the best episode of the new Scooby-Doo movies, and the only new Scooby-Doo movies monster you will see in this list. And there's a reason. It's because that episode, I could watch that every single day for the rest of my life and not get bored of it. It is just hilarious. So definitely go watch that episode of the new Scooby-Doo movies with Laurel and Hardy and the Ghost of Bigfoot.
Red Jackaroo.
Now, the Jaguaro comes in at number 3, mainly because of its ridiculous but still scary design. So the Jaguaro is basically an idol for these native people, and it's half jaguar and half ape. And it is actually pretty scary. I mean, that thing is like, it must be at least 9 feet tall. It didn't say exactly how tall it was, but it's extremely tall, it's extremely strong, and it is run by an actually very smart guy, Barney, who is also a scientist. And he's also a filmmaker, I believe, too. But basically, it's just a great design for a monster, and it's one of the more creative. Like I said about the tar monster as well, it's definitely one of the more creative type of monsters. And I definitely recommend you watch Jeepers, It's the Jaguaro Scooby-Doo show season 3, which actually features some of the best monsters. I really like that season of Scooby-Doo. Now, the pterodactyl ghost comes in at number 2. It would come in at number 1 if the number 1 monster weren't such a classic. But the pterodactyl ghost comes in at number 2 because it is just so OP. I mean, that thing can fly. It can, go in through caves. It can run pretty fast. I mean, it is just one of the most OP monsters you'll ever see. And also, their scheme is actually quite smart. I mean, they're transporting stolen records, or actually copied records, and selling them and making a lot of money. Now, this is one of the schemes that makes actually more sense than some of the other ones. Some of the other schemes in Scooby-Doo are obviously pretty ridiculous, but this one actually makes kind of a lot of sense. And I think the Pterodactyl Ghost fits in perfectly to the storyline because of the caves and because they need to do the hang glider flights and all that stuff. So definitely watch this episode of Scooby-Doo Show Season 2 and tell me what you think. Leave a comment because the Pterodactyl Ghost is definitely extremely OP.
The Creeper.
So I believe that no monster sums up Scooby-Doo more than the Creeper.
It's in that real life movie. See? Don't believe me? Right there, see? I thought that looked familiar-ish.
Now, the reason I did not include Scooby-Doo Where Are You monsters in this is because I thought that a lot of the monsters in Scooby-Doo Where Are You were more generic. There's not really a lot of ones that stand out to me. Some of them are pretty cool, but really, the Creeper is the one that sums up Scooby-Doo better than any other monster. Just because it is just so creepy. I mean, he has a catchphrase, too. He always says, Creeper. And it's just, he's just one of the best monsters you'll ever see anywhere. I mean, the Creeper just sums up Scooby-Doo, and it just epitomizes the idea of a Scooby-Doo monster. And it was in Season 2 of Scooby-Doo Where Are You, and I just think they just nailed this episode. This episode was so entertaining. The Creeper just chased them at every single turn. It had a lot more screen time than most monsters. And definitely go watch that episode. I think it's called Jeepers, It's the Creeper. But the Creeper is just such a good monster. It's definitely the #1 Scooby-Doo monster. And yeah, guys, definitely go check him out. Now, I know, guys, that you were probably looking for more Scooby-Doo Where Are You monsters. I didn't really like a lot of the monsters in that. I thought later on they nailed a lot more of them. But